Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. And hope you're having a great start to your week. We got a mishmash of things today that I want to go over. Kevin, first one up this morning. How are you this morning? Good to have you on with us. Okay. And John, good to have you on. Mike, regular from Wawa. John from Elgin, Illinois, another regular. Linda, good morning to you. And Natasha. And Madeleine, Temiskaming, good morning. Steph, our dear friend from North Bay. May, good morning. Nick from our staff. Kim from Timmins, dear friend. Rhonda. And Wendy from Markham. Good morning. Jerry, Nouveau Brunswick. Brianna from Hearst, Ontario. Bobby Lynn and Nellie. Good morning to you guys. Esther, Ruth. Good morning. Helena and Milika. And Barbara, Nova Scotia. Mary Ellen, Woodstock. Joe, BC. I always remember that, Joe. Early in the morning, Marine. Boca Raton, Florida. How are you, Marine? Good to have you on. Jeanette, Kristen, Yolande. Bonjour, good morning to our dear friend Yolande. Norma and Pam. IT and Sandra. I know I missed so many, but I really love saying hello to you. Claudette and Lynn, good morning. Deb, our friend from Timmins. Maria, Cambridge. Okay. Nice to have you guys on. Let's get going, and then we'll come on afterwards and say hello to the rest. Ashley and Henry and Alicia Ann. Okay, a couple of questions I missed on Friday. We sort of ran out of time. Let me just talk about this. I think it's important to go over this. Doc, what do you think about seeds and nuts? Well, one thing I know, okay? One thing I know. Have you ever watched chipmunks and squirrels? When they get ready for winter, they work all summer, it seems, hiding their nuts and seeds. Right? That's how they get fat, guys. And look, don't misunderstand what I'm going to say. I'm not big. When there's a reason I don't want you on seeds or nuts except flax seeds. Why do I like flax seeds? Because unlike any other seed or nut or whatever, they have 100 times more lignans than any other seed. And I know people push back, and what about pumpkin seeds, and what about chia seeds, and what about these kind of seeds, and what about nuts, Doc? Well, first of all, you want to gain weight? Snack on that stuff. Okay? Now, I'm not saying you can never have seeds. I'm not saying you can never have nuts. But if you're trying to lose weight, lay off that stuff. You know, because people find themselves snacking. I'm not big on that. If you're eating eggs, meat, and cheese, you'll find that you're a lot less hungry and you don't need to snack. Now, the reason that the only seed I allow on the reset, the 30-day program, is because I want to lower your estrogen. Women and men. Estrogen, the womanly hormone. There's nothing, ladies, that will slow down your thyroid, your metabolism. Your thyroid is your gas pedal in your car. There's nothing that will slow your metabolism and cause weight gain like estrogen. Estrogen is a growth hormone. I am very adamant on lowering estrogen. Oh, doc, I'm going into menopause. I don't have a lot of estrogen. Yes, you do. If you have symptoms of menopausal symptoms, you have two. It's always a balance between estrogen and progesterone. You see, this is why I always liked DIM, blocking estrogen. For weight gain, for your thyroid, breast cancer, estrogen, estrogen, estrogen. PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, estrogen, insulin. They're growth hormones, guys. So you're asking me about other seeds? Nah. I don't want them in 30 days. I don't. You have no idea how many cases over the years that I treated with IBS, diverticulosis, and it was usually, okay? And ladies, I don't mean to pick on you, but it usually was women who lived in the plant kingdom, chicken and salad, and seeds and nuts. They thought they were a bird or something, or a chipmunk, or a squirrel. Guys, anyway, look, and that's why I'm very focused on flax seeds. Flax seeds, okay? So I want you to understand, Wendy, where I come from, okay? Where I come from. Because a lot of people, they push back. It bothers them that I talk about, things like that, but I'm very focused. I am not huge on nuts, and look, I like them too. I like peanuts. I like peanut butter. More than anything, I love peanut butter. But I'm not trying to say it's good for you, okay? And if you got any kind of digestive issue, if you have hormonal issues, thyroid issues, fatigue, hair loss, dry skin, thinning eyebrows, weight gain, unexplained itchiness or rash, these often are thyroid. Thyroid is one of the most misdiagnosed conditions today, because they rely on the laboratory to talk about the thyroid. And they misinterpret the TSH, which came out in the 1970s. They don't even calculate it properly. So you have hundreds of thousands of women, especially, who are misdiagnosed when it comes to their thyroid gland. It walks like a duck. It talks like a duck. It's a duck. It's the thyroid. So often I've told people in my office, nah, you got a thyroid issue. Oh, my doctor said no. Well, I beg to disagree. Your thyroid is like a puppet. It's got a lot of strings attached to it. It doesn't act on its own, but one of the biggest factors. You know, I was thinking about Hashimoto's because somebody asked me about it. When the body increases its level of antibodies, it's an autoimmune disorder. And I say, yeah, but what started it? What starts the autoimmune? Leaky gut? Yep. Because one of the things that happens even in the gut is the conversion of T4 to T3. Your thyroid needs T3 to work properly. There's a lot of things that can go wrong getting the right amount of T3. How does that happen? Too much estrogen. And again, can I give you a little bit of news behind the news? It came out of the University of Waterloo. They're saying that, the blue mask, like it's like a plastic. The University of Waterloo, and this is always hidden, they're useless. They work in less than 10%. But that's not the biggest thing that I talked about. I talk about all these plastics that is in the environment. Takes 400 years to dissolve. It's in the oceans. It's in the mountains, the highest mountains. Go back and listen to a podcast that I did a while ago. From Mount Everest to the placenta, the highest peak in the world, to to the placenta, inside the placenta, mommy and baby. Plastic. And if you think you're getting away from that, guys, good luck with that. But don't put plastic around your mouth. It's estrogen based. You get xenoestrogens from all these chemicals. You already got enough estrogen. Now it's going to make more. That's one of the biggest factors in the last 40, 50 years in our society today. It's xenoestrogens. And this destroys the thyroid. It's one of the biggest factors in cancer. And that's why I rest my case on flax seeds. I like them. Okay? So, Wendy asked that question. Gail was asking about soil-based probiotic. What's the difference? Well, listen. Soil-based probiotics, you can take a torch to them and you're not going to destroy the bacteria in there. Okay? That's why I like them. I mean, there's dairy-based. Somebody was asking, who was it? Bobby? I think so. Beauty rates. I don't even know if I pronounced that right. But BUTYRATES. Beauty rates? Booty rates? I don't know how to say it. But that's a byproduct in terms of in your gut for your bacteria. Guess how you get that? You know what a byproduct of butter is and hard cheese is? Beauty rates. They feed your bacteria. They are bacteria to some extent. You don't have to get a supplement to get beauty rates. You have to get a supplement to get a broad spectrum probiotic, and I recommend soil-based. with at least 10 different strains. That makes them broad spectrum. And soil-based, they're hardy. They get past your stomach's acidity to get into the gut where they belong. Okay? Good questions. One more that I missed on Friday. Lucy was asking about hearing loss. And is there a diet? Well, look. One of the things in tinnitus, hearing loss, of course, loud music or loud, people that work in factories sometimes, and the loud, and they don't put the ear protections on. But one of the things that glycates, what do I mean by that? As we age, things don't, like your tissue, glycates. It's one of the reasons we get old. We get older and things happen. Skin, muscles, joints, glycation, it's called. AGE, glycation end products. Big word. What does it mean? Aging. Your tissue isn't the same. Your joints aren't the same. Your tendons aren't the same. They don't have the same elasticity. They don't have the amount of collagen that they used to have. Okay? And even in the middle ear, guys, you got 3 little bones in there. They're very tiny. Have a lot to do with they move. They pick up sound. But they glycate. That's why you see so many old people, they lose their hearing. One of the things the reset does, and I explain this in the book, the reset, is how it lowers your AGE, how it lowers glycation. It lowers it. Does it reverse it? Nah, you can't. You're not going to reverse aging completely. Okay? But it helps. Okay? It helps. Okay? Now, news behind the news. Today is news behind the news. I talked to you about the face masks, especially the blue ones there, the ones that they're plastic. Okay? I talked to you about that. Was the news behind the news. It should have been big news, but it's not going to fit the narrative, so it won't be big news, but you heard it here. And I'll post it. I'll post the study. It was a Canadian study done at the University of Waterloo. And but where I'm going to post it, you'll see it in the United Kingdom. They talked about it. Israel. Interesting, eh? That Israel has one of the highest rates of the virus right now. I have the highest rate of vaccination. But this was a story that I found interesting. It said that Israel has the highest consumption of seed oils. PUFA. Now, I've talked to you in the past about what PUFA is, because PUFA was the big thing. Plant oils, polyunsaturated fatty acids. You see, because it hit big in North America, Israel, because, it must be healthy because it's not full of saturated fat. It's polyunsaturated fatty acid. Your seed oils, your vegetable oils. They're high in omega-6. One of the biggest problems in society today is the imbalance between omega-6 and omega-3. We need more omega-3 because when you get an imbalance between omega-6 and omega-3, there's something that happens in your body. Well, there's more than one thing that happens, but the main thing that happens in your body is you develop inflammation. Inflammation is meant to be temporary. It's meant as your body's ambulance system. It's part of the process of healing, of course. You get punched in the face, your face will swell. Your body's ambulance is coming with more blood and more enzymes and more protein. And that's normal. Your body knows what to do, but you don't want that staying there. And a lot of people have this silent inflammation going on in their body. And inflammation, when it's left, as Tony Jr. often called it, it's disease without a fever. You want a fever if you have a virus, guys. If you got a bacteria, you want a fever. Your body, your body heats up. But what if you have inflammation without a fever? It's silent. And one of the main reasons we get this is because of the high amount of omega-3. Anything in your, high amount of omega-6, anywhere just about in the middle aisles of your grocery store, from cookies to crackers to breads to you name the things that are in the middle aisles of your grocery store and usually last a fair amount of time, are filled with omega-6. Omega-3 is what we need. We have a huge, huge lack of omega-3 in our society today. I'm big on omega-3. I have fish every day. I have fish every day in a capsule. And I'm a big, big guy on omega-3. You get grass-fed beef, you got more omega-3 in there than you do even in fish. The cows eat the grass, not you, ladies. You weren't meant to eat the grass. You know what? Oh, Doc, I don't eat grass. I said, do you eat salad? Well, that's grass. It's just glorified. Cows have 4 stomachs. And they don't have a gallbladder. You're meant to have the healthy fat, which is saturated. Saturated, people think saturated, that must be bad. No, saturated fat is how you get all your vitamins. Your fat-soluble vitamins. Vitamin A. Oh, that'll replace your mask. The invisible mask. Vitamin D. It's a fat-soluble vitamin. One of the reasons, by the way, that people are so low in vitamin D, if we learn nothing else from the last 18 months, we should have learned this. 1, people are extremely low in vitamin D. Almost invariably, what they found is anybody that got sick, just about anybody, when they measured their vitamin D, were chronically low in vitamin D. Now, personally, you guys know what I think about this vitamin D. It's greater than all the other vitamins, almost put together. That's how good it is for you. And the more and more and more and more and more they study it, the more and more and more they realize what I've been saying for the last 50 years. Your body is a human solar panel. And one of the reasons, I believe it's the main reason, that people are so low in vitamin D is because they avoid saturated fat. Ooh, fat makes me fat. Fat gives me cholesterol. Fat. And they get like Israel, where they believe the lie and they switch their oils to PUFAs, polyunsaturated fatty acids. It's creating havoc in our society today. Havoc. The news behind the news. It's almost impossible, guys, to get sick if you have good levels of vitamin D. It's almost impossible. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying it's almost impossible. And it seems so simplistic. And there's no money in vitamin D. Nobody got rich on vitamin D. You can't patent the sun. You can't patent vitamin D. And vitamin D, in terms of food, is only found in the animal kingdom. I'm sorry, it's not in the plant kingdom. It's in the animal kingdom. That's why the Inuit are not low in vitamin D. They don't get the sun on their skin. But they eat blubber all day. Fish, seal, whale. And by the way, they don't get heart disease either till they eat our diet. It's true. Madeleine, who's on with us this morning, I love talking to the First Nations. I love talking to, our indigenous people. I remind them, don't eat white man's food. No good. When you eat it, you're going to get sick. It's true. Okay. Now, there was some other stuff in the news today. Okay. Do I got a minute? I got a few minutes. Okay. And maybe we can do this. We could do this top 11 reasons. Okay. So let me just go over them. This was a headline in 2020. The top 11 reasons that people went to see their doctor. Okay, it's interesting. It's interesting. You know what the number one reason was? The number one reason, when I wrote, let me show you if I can show you. If you look back in that corner, right in, you'll see the energy robbers and the fatigue cure. Do you see that right up in the middle there? For those who are on the podcast later, I'm pointing to a book I wrote in, it really was a redo of one of the first books I wrote on chronic fatigue syndrome. And I just updated it. I can't even remember what year it was. I'd have to look it up. Okay? I'd have to look it up. But you know what I said? I think it's right on first page of that book. I said the number one reason that people go see their doctors is for fatigue. It's so common. But actually, in this survey, the number one reason wasn't fatigue. It was number two. Why people went to see their doctors. They're tired. Hey, doc, I'm tired of being tired. But the number one reason, interesting, is skin problems. The organ that you see was the number one reason that people in North America visited their physicians. Isn't that interesting? And we see, of course, today, probably, I hate to use the word, an epidemic. I think we overuse that word. But it's obviously important because it was surveyed to be the number one reason that people visited their physicians, and that was the skin. From psoriasis, eczema, acne, rashes. It's the visible organ. Remember, your skin is the largest organ in your body. And listen, there's two things that are going to influence your skin more than anything else. One, your gut. Leaky gut. It's the number one reason that people go to see their doctors is for their skin and skin conditions. And I bet you almost dollars to donuts that there's hardly a physician that would ever say, well, you know what? You got leaky gut. What you see on your skin is started in your gut. And again, I try and make a case. I want you to think with me here. Why do we have so much leaky gut? More than ever before. Hippocrates, 2,000 years ago, the father of medicine, said all diseases start in the gut. He wasn't stupid. He didn't know anything about really the microbiome, and yet he said that statement. But guys, if you look at your skin, it's almost a mirror image of what has happened in your gut. I just can't think of any exceptions. And the number one reason that we have so much skin problems is because we're killing the friendly bacteria. And the number one thing that kills the friendly bacteria is the overuse of antibiotics in our society. It is the double-edged sword of antibiotics. Save your life, slowly kill you. And skin is just a reflection of your gut. It's a window to your gut. Doctors don't use observation like they used to. They rely on labs. And so, there's autoimmune. You see a lot of skin autoimmune today. You see a lot of acne, aging of the skin. But oftentimes, they're looking for love in all the wrong places. They're not getting back to the root of the number one reason people visit their doctors. and, like rosacea and all these skin conditions, I always go back to the gut. Start there. Start to fix that. And you will fix leaky gut. You can fix it. Broad spectrum probiotics. Patch it up. Put friendly bacteria in. Billions and billions and billions and billions of them. And secondly, change your diet, because the biggest thing that will come out on the skin is a fungal infection. Yeast, fungus, candida. And it only comes out when the microbiome in the gut has been disrupted. Our modern diet, high in omega-6, low in omega-3, our modern diet of crappy oils and crappy carbs and enormous amount of sugar is destroying people's lives. It's destroying people's lives. Maybe we will do a couple of sessions on this. I found it interesting. A survey of why people went to see their physicians. Interesting. I think you will too. Okay. Great start to the week, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and share this with your friends. If they can't join us, your friends and family can't join us live. Not everybody can come on at 8:30 weekday mornings, guys. But if they can't, get them hooked up to our podcast, guys. Okay, the podcast. The Doctor is In podcast. Very, very popular one. They can get it automatically on their smart devices. I'm not that smart, but I do have a smart device, okay, that I can barely handle. Okay, so just enough, remember Friday? Question and answer, okay? Popular program, we appreciate that. Our Martin Clinic Facebook group, we love you guys in that group. It's so good, okay? So take advantage of that. Join the group if you're not. If you don't get our emails, you better sign up, martinclinic.com. Sign up for the emails, guys. You want to get our emails. We do a lot of teaching there, okay? Okay, so we'll talk to you guys soon. We love you.